I think I better fire this up and build the air up a little bit, get my seat back up. I got mine link somewhere. But howdy, folks. Let's who comes on air for the fourth time this weekend. Food Mooch, what's up? Jim Dunn, you're at home, man. Get over here and spend time with the family. Jason, what's up, brother? Y'all hit that like button for me up there coming in. Two of y'all didn't hit it now. Jim Dunn, you're probably the first one that didn't hit it. That gum ABS lights came on. 7 of you and just 1 like. What's up with that? Thank you, Jason. There we go. Now you're starting to hit it. Thank you very much. Thought I'd have a minute to build that air up for y'all got on here. Well, I've been making some people mad online. Sea Hill, what's up? Early, huh? This ain't early. There we go. Turn my heater back on back there. Yeah, somebody put up one of them fake posts on Facebook. And, no, what's up, man? Don't recall seeing you before. Welcome to the live stream, unless I'm missing it. Brandon, what's up? Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, Brandon. But anyway, somebody put up a fake post on Facebook, supposedly showing a lunch counter at a school, and there's a sign that says, "No money, no lunch." And these bleeding hearts are buying into it and going nuts. And they ain't liking my comments on it. Go figure. No. Some of them are actually cussing at me. Mina, what's going on? Welcome to the live stream. Aaron, what's up? Ain't seen you in a minute. You been hiding out? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I got news for you. She ain't kicking her Papa Joe dolls off the bed. Ain't happening. She might kick you off the bed if you try to move them. Tell him, Stormy. Get him, darling. That poor Yankee, he just can't figure out us Southern boys. JJ, what's up? Yeah, I heard about it, and I was going to go watch his video. I'd brought it up, and then somebody else called me, and I wound up talking to them and doing a conference call and all that, so I didn't get to see it. I was told he was in a wreck, but evidently he just slid off the road. Well, them roads was icy. I don't know why anybody was out on them. That's what I thought, Brandon. Did you find something that interested you in that research? Well, exactly, Jason. That was my whole point with them. Is I was trying to tell them, yeah, it was fake news. I was trying to tell them, no, I ain't buying into it. There's been a program in place for years where you get reduced lunches or free lunches, you know, so if the parents didn't sign them up for it, shame on the parents, punish the parents. But I don't know of a school out there that lets children go hungry because they ain't got money. They'll feed them, they'll run them up, like you said, a little credit there, and then they're in the parents' butt, you know. But the school don't let children go hungry, and they damn sure don't post signs saying no money, no lunch. One of them told me, oh, well, if this don't happen, just ignore it. And I said, I can't. I got to watch the snowflakes melt. And boy, did that stir them up. I can't help it. Exactly, Brandon. Just go on and get on the couch, Jim. Huh. So no contact, JJ? Just a couple of trucks on the side? Well, I know when my kids were in school, which they've been out for ever, well, hell, our youngest one's 34, so they've been out for a minute. Every year they sent home papers to fill out to see if you wanted to get a free lunch and stuff. Which I imagine Grandma sent them out or filled them out. And I ain't got a clue if they got reduced lunches, free lunches, or what. But I know they never went hungry. And I never seen them packing a lunch. I don't know. I was out trucking. That was Grandma's job. But like I said, I know for years, over 20 years, they've been doing that. I hear you, Brandon. Yep, exactly, Jason. Oh, that's California. That don't feed me. That don't surprise me. But I bet you if there was an illegal alien, they would feed them. Blue, what's up? William, howdy. Ridge Runner, howdy, howdy. I think I've seen you on here before, ain't I, Ridge Runner? To all my new subscribers, howdy, and thank you for subscribing. Well, and that's what I'm saying, Aaron. What up, Pax? I've gotten, I don't know, around 50 subscribers in the last 3 or 4 days, ever since Guilty shared my video over there. So welcome to all of y'all. Thank you for coming over. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, William, we all get them. I ignore them anymore. It'll get there when I can legally get it there. You know, I'd like I was talking to Grandma. I was debating on going to my receiver tonight and hoping for a place to park, and I told her, I said, why? The company's kind of left me out here to fend for myself, wouldn't give me the information I needed. Why not want to drive into the Dallas area and possibly not have a parking place and put myself in a predicament? So I'm going to spend the night here. I'll set my alarm for 5 a.m. If I can get up, I get up. If I'm too shot out to get up, because I did get damn near a 3-hour nap today. So I just play it by ear. And I'm not going to sweat it. And hopefully they're not foolish enough wanting to butt heads with me tomorrow. Yeah, I've heard that about California. Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, 18 people and 6 likes. What up, folks? Hit that like button for me. It's painless. Go ahead, tap it. Ah, hell, I was already crazy, Blue. What do you mean going crazy? Well, thank you, Pax. I'm doing pretty good overall. Thank y'all for hitting that like button. Some of you others, please continue to hitting it. Yep, still the exact same spot. Only thing different is they had a diesel leak behind me. Somebody parked up last night with a leaking fuel line or something, and I thought I smelled some diesel, and next thing I know, hazmat crew's back there cleaning up. So Flying J's gonna get a hell of a bill, or if they can figure out what truck company it was, they're gonna get somebody paying a hell of a bill. Yeah, Brandon, I don't play that no more. Especially since we got these ELDs, I don't want to hear it. California ain't been a part of the U.S. for years. They separated themselves a long time ago. They might fall under the same umbrella, but they don't live in the same zip code with the rest of us. No, JJ, I ain't that foolish. This is part of trucking. This is just part of the BS side of trucking. This kind of stuff happens, what I'm going through this weekend. And if you're coming out here, you better expect this to happen to you, and you need to be able to handle it right. There's no need of me getting all fired up, all mad, getting my blood pressure up, getting stressed out, and having a bad weekend because I'm sitting here mad. I ain't doing it. Frustrated? Yes. Have I vented to Grandma? Yes. Is Grandma upset? Yes. She's vented to me. You know, she knows what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and she's got my back. You know, that's just like not driving in tonight. She knows damn good well normally I would drive into my receiver, and y'all know that. How many times have you heard me parked up in my receiver? But if the company won't give me contact information where I can call and see if there's parking, I would be foolish to leave a good parking spot that I've been in for 54 hours and 26 minutes to try to be in there overnight. I mean, why? The load ain't that important to me. But having a parking spot, that's pretty important to me. So I'll stay in the one I'm at, and I'll deal with what I got to deal with in the morning. Yeah, Brandon, that's it. There's a joke about God having a sense of humor, said he was going to put good women in every corner of the earth. And then he made the earth round, and he sat back and laughed and laughed. I just came out of the Huddle House. I had some folks that did that super chat thing on here and threw a little bit of money my way to buy me a couple meals for the weekend, which was awesome. And I had another breakfast for dinner. 3 eggs, hash browns, sausage, a biscuit with a little gravy smeared on it that I wasn't supposed to have. And they got a new pancake, a cinnamon unrolled. It's something they're trying. I ate about half of that because it was too sweet for me. I'm supposed to be no sugar. No sugar added on the videos and in my diet. I never thought about that. I bet Grandma's been talking to that doctor again. Ooh, damn, 10,000, that's some expensive gallons there. Now, I ain't going to do the Google Maps. I don't do that stuff worth a damn. And I don't trust it anyway. And still, once again, I was through under the bus, so to speak. They didn't communicate with me, so I'm going to do what I think's right. So, and what if I got to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night? I got one right over there. The receiver ain't going to have one. So now I've got an attitude. I get tired of taking care of the company and going 100% or 110% to take care of these loads and all this to have this happen. Why in the world am I going to go that 110% for them? No. I'm going to go just far enough where it don't affect my paycheck to speak of. Exactly, William. That's exactly where I'm at. I've got a real good record. Within a couple of days, I could have a company that'd be running my stuff and putting me to work. So, well, that's what you need to do. I mean, Swift is Swift. It don't matter what company you're starting with. They're all pretty much the same. They're all going to take advantage of you because you're new to the industry. So, and whoever you go with, you do need to stick them out 2 years. So if you're with Swift, it makes absolutely no sense to do 1 year with Swift and then go to CR England. It's the same animal by a different name. So stick it out with Swift. Once you have 2 years, there's a whole lot of different options that you have. It opens up a whole different list. Yeah, I hear you, Jim Dunn. Wow, 14 cents a mile. Wow. Yep. Well, Pax, you need to be able to drive a manual, to be honest with you. And Swift does have them. So if you haven't got your CDLs yet, you want to make sure that you don't get one with that mark just for automatics. Which that don't make no sense to me anyway. Venom, what's up? You gotta watch Brandon tonight, Venom. He's on a roll. Oh yeah. Sorry, you can keep him in line for me. 20 people and 10 thumbs up. What's up with that, people? Y'all don't like me tonight or what? I'm going to wait on a few more likes before I continue. Thank you. There's one. There's a couple more. I'm waiting on the likes, folks. Welcome to those coming in. Hit the like button for me. Into the state fair. I bet that was interesting. Exactly, Brandon. That's the whole point. You need to learn how to drive a manual just for the opportunities that could be out there. Well, there you go. It was a successful run if you didn't hit anything. "20 people and 14 likes. What's up with that? There's 6 of you just lurking in the background. Hit that like button. That wouldn't surprise me, dude. The CR England's forcing them to learn automatics. A lot of the big companies are. It's so much easier on them. In the long run, it saves them money. Well, he didn't hit anything that he admitted to. That's the deal. Well, Pax, you got to be careful of some of what you see and hear on these YouTubes. You need to fact check the YouTubes, including mine. But usually if I don't know I'm stating a fact, I'll tell you so. But there are others out there that will charge you to call them, and they ain't got a clue what they're talking about. That one still gets my goat. Charging you to talk to them. Oh my. Well, we was trained on manuals because they didn't have automatic. Who's that, Brandon? Who's with FedEx now? Yeah. Well, YouTube ain't no different than that CB, only now you can see their face and they carry on more. But used to be, would get talking about any kind of pay, and you'd have that guy come on that's telling you how he'd make him $5 a mile in a company truck. Truck would do 5,000 miles an hour, and he did 10,000 miles a week, and you know. YouTube ain't a whole lot different than that, other than you get to see them lie to you. Me, I'm just a poor broke truck driver, lives paycheck to paycheck. Now Brandon and William, they're the ones making the money. They got the good jobs. Oh, okay. That's who you're talking about. Well, FedEx drivers have been going downhill for years, so that don't surprise me that he's over there. 4 years, huh? So in other words, he started about the same time I started with this company. 4 years he's just now getting to learn how to drive. But at least you got a little eyesight into what's going on. Man, is that what you bought my dinner with yesterday? You mean that money ain't gonna be any good? I better leave before they figure it out. There goes Tyson. Now, Tyson's supposed to be a good company to work with once you get your foot in the door. And where you're at, Brandon, you ought to find out about Tyson or some of them over that way. I hear you. Well, if he's been driving 4 years and he ain't done a lot of company hopping and he's got a good record, yeah, he can get in good with a company now. Your better companies are requiring 2 and 3 years experience. I think they require 3 where I'm at. But right now, with my attitude, I don't know if I'd call them a good company. For me. Now, y'all look at the gaps in them trucks over there. Now, if them trucks had squeezed up like they're supposed to, where they only got not much more than mirror distance in between them, you get another truck in there. Now, that one where you see the work lights on, it's on my extreme right. Now, there's a light pole there that is interfering with the parking between those two. But look at these other ones here. If they would squeeze up right, they'd make another parking spot. I don't understand them leaving that gap like that. Now, technically, that's no parking. There's no stripes and stuff. The other side of the light pole is where the actual parking spaces are. So their excuses that I hear them using is, well, there's no lines. Does that matter? You still know how close you should be parking to another truck. And that right there is BS. Just my falling. I hope not. We'll see. Bobby, what's up? Snowed in Charlotte. I heard they were supposed to catch it up there. Well, that's a good deal, Pax. Then maybe he's got some good advice for you. That's how you should do it. That's right, Brandon. I can tell y'all how to become a millionaire too, but it's going to cost you $500,000 a minute, and it's going to take me about 10 minutes to explain it to you. But give me a call. Schneider is a good company in my opinion. Now, they got their faults like others. Ain't no perfect company out here. Best company I ever worked for still had issues. My wife tried that keto coffee. I turned her on to Trucker Jim's video about it. And she tried it. She wasn't that crazy about it. Although she learned some stuff from his videos on the keto diet that she implements along with what she's doing. Well, Cutter, and good evening. There's parking issues all the time. However, if you run overnight, yes, you stand a better chance of getting parking. Now, that being said, you get around some of the big cities like Houston, parking can still be an issue during the daylight because the drivers will go deliver at their cold storage, grocery warehouses, and those happen 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So after they've been there 4 or 5 hours, they come out, they still don't have a load, they'll go back to the truck stops. But if you're away from the cities, parking's not that big of an issue during the days. Anymore, starting around 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, the parking starts disappearing quick. You hear us old hands call them the solar powered drivers. If the sun's up, they're out running. Sun goes down, so do they. I hear you, Brandon. You're going to buy ink cartridges. Good deal, Ridge Runner. Keto basically means you set your body up in what's called ketosis, which means the body is burning the fat off your body. It's basically a high protein, high fat diet. Fat burns fat. Look it up. There's the Atkins diet basically sets you up where you get into ketosis. So the keto diet is basically the same thing. It's where you cut out all carbs, and once you get all the carbs cleared out of your system, the fat starts burning fat. That's the issue that I have, Brandon. I like my bread and taters and gravy, but I did get on the Atkins diet, and I lost about 80 pounds on the Atkins diet. However, the problem with the keto diet or keto diet or any other diet like that is that once you start on it, you have to stay on it. If you go back to eating your bread and taters and gravy, you are going to balloon out again. And it seems to happen quicker. So I've pretty much been staying the same weight around the 260 for me. I've been staying between 260 and 270 for the last 5 or 6 years. I do not try to cut out all my carbs. I have cut back on my carbs. And like this weekend in here, Huddle House, you wind up eating taters and different stuff like that, which I like my taters and biscuits and gravy. So yeah, I've had them a couple times. Well, it's really hard, OTR. So you need to go into my library and watch some of my trucking videos, and I start talking to you about your eating out here. It's not as easy as you think. The main thing is that healthy foods are not available. If you're hitting the right truck stops, yeah, they've got some bananas and apples and oranges and stuff. But other than that, your normal truck stop food out here is very unhealthy for you. There's plenty that'll tell you stop at a Walmart, stock up. There's only so much that you can carry that doesn't start going bad on you and waste money. And with all the truck drivers throwing all their pee bottles and trash everywhere, we're not welcome at all the Walmarts like we used to. So you have to be selective on where you're going to hit a Walmart or any other store. More melted ice. Back in the day, we used to carry water jugs with us and would stop and fill them up with ice. Let that ice melt, and that was our main water out here. And boy, my ears have been wanting to pop today. Feel like they need to pop. So I'm probably talking a little louder than normal. Like y'all need that, right? Me talking louder? How many of you already had to reach up and turn your volume down? Don't start on me about my smoking. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like me smoking, go away. Yeah, now with that, dude, you get you some tree soap and make it with tree soap. That's pretty good. Now, I've done one of them. I don't know if I videotaped it, where I got some of the frozen shredded taters and stuff, and I really wasn't that crazy about it. And I've also stopped putting cheese in it. I don't put cheese in it anymore. Because, you know, I'd bake it and then I'd cut it up and put 2 of them in each baggie. They started getting kind of oily, and I figured out that was from the cheese. So now I do it, I bake it without the cheese. Then when I warm it up in the microwave, I just put regular old sandwich cheese on it. So, oh yeah, you have to do regens. The regens themselves ain't normally a problem. If everything's working right, it will regen going down the road. Under certain circumstances, you have to do a parked regen. That don't happen often on a good truck that's working right. But now also in that whole system, there's stuff that goes bad, and periodically you wind up shutting your truck down so that they can work on that stuff. So it's one of the necessary evils. The government demands that we have that nonsense, and we just have to deal with it. But overall, If everything's running okay, all the regen stuff is not a problem. No, it wasn't you, William. I got someone that's giving me a hard way last night about it. Well, exactly, Brandon. We're smokers. We have been for years. And to me, it's real simple. If you're so tender seeing me smoke a cigarette offends you, then don't see me smoking. Well, you got to go to one of the health stores to get the grass-fed butter. And I've talked to Trucker Jim on the phone a couple of times, and I was telling him about it, and he admits that you don't have to have grass-fed. He just prefers it because it's more organic and gets rid of some of the chemicals and stuff that they put in the regular feed. Oh, I don't know. Probably another 6 or 7. I don't know. I tell everybody I'll probably die in the truck. Well, William, I complain about that, man. That feels funny. Oh, yeah. I just don't see retiring, to be honest with you. I'll probably be out here until they force me out of it. Now, my boy Little Joe, he just got his master's degree, and he swear he gonna get a good job and retire daddy and get him out of this truck. I keep telling him he needs to worry about his family. I made my bed, now I'm laying in it. As soon as Brandon wins the lotto, he's going to help me get my farm fixed up, and then I can retire off of Brandon's winnings. Problem is, I don't think he plays enough. Brian, what's up? 3 packs a day driving a truck ain't nothing. Facts, it's all going to depend upon who you're running for and where you're delivering to. The problem that people have is their delivery and pickup times. The majority of your delivery and pickup times are during the daylight hours. So now if you're running grocery warehouses, those are at 4 o'clock in the morning type nonsense. So it's going to depend upon where you're running. If you're going to try to run nights, then you're going to have some scheduling issues. The majority of the people that I know, like William was saying, they get up and start 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and they'll get past their major traffic issues that they might have, and then they can park earlier. It's a whole controlling your hours. You have your time management with these ELDs is your biggest thing to learn out here. If you can do your trip planning and manage your hours, then yeah, you can run earlier hours. But you got to be on top of your game, and trying to do that, you're going to have a messed up sleeping schedule. I'm doing fine, Brian. Exactly, Brandon. We'll leave it on William. J.A., how you doing? I don't think I've seen you on here before, have I? Welcome to the live stream. And nope, I'm in northern Texas. It ain't snowing. I'm by Dallas. Yeah, I hear you, William. Well, actually, I've been told to complain about heart issues, you know? So, that just ain't me. Grandma couldn't handle me being home all that time. But she'd lose some weight with me chasing her around the house. What do you think? I hear you, Brandon. JJ's got the money, too. Well, if you get dedicated to Walmart or Costco, you need to make sure it's a dedicated drop. And from my understanding, I haven't done them, but from my understanding, you still have times to drop and pick up in there. It ain't like you can just go in there anytime you want. Okay, well, cool, J.A. I can't remember everybody, brother. See, that's why JJ's got all the money, Brandon. He's in denial. He's going to try to convince us he's broke. Yep, it's all about the trip planning. Well, you said you got that cousin. Talk to your cousin about what kind of hours that they deliver and pick up, and you'll see what I mean. Especially if he did 2 years with Swift, and you're talking about going with Swift. Well, then he's got a pretty good idea how Swift works. So talk to him about how feasible that would be. I know, and I can't afford all the new skillets, man. I don't know if you're better off or not, dude. I've seen my dad do all kinds of stuff, but the last 30 years was driving a truck. Don't mind me, I'm playing with something here. Alright, I'm going to have to talk to Carlos. Get a few people a wrench in here. We talked about that earlier, but he was busy today. Well, y'all seen we talked about it this morning. Well, your money management's a big one. For one thing, do your best not to live off cash advances. Companies offer you a cash advance out here, and it's real easy to lose track. Try to stock your truck up at home or wherever you can. Don't be buying out of these truck stops. Don't be buying a bunch of necessary stuff. America has the problem of when they're bored or depressed, they spend money. That's an easy trap to fall into out here. Watch yourself. No, it ain't a makeshift headache crack. Uh, we call that dunnage. And what that is you have to have, which I usually use 4x4s as you see. Those 4x4s are what they put underneath stuff so that a forklift can get underneath it to take it off their trailer. Some of the other dunnage that you see is stuff that they use for securing the load, like a coil. You know, one of the round coils of wire or flat steel. It's used for loading and unloading and securing your load. What's a good limit to speed a week? Oh, spend a week. Okay. Howdy, Larry. Well, that's going to depend upon you. And if you're going to actually try to eat healthy out here, it's going to cost you a little bit more. But I tell everybody, you need to figure on, roughly speaking, $200 a week. And that ain't including whatever your habit is. You know, and you will create a habit out here, whether it's smoking cigarettes or eating chips. You know, your junk food, your Little Debbie's, whatever. You will create some kind of habit out here. Trust me on that. But you're going to look at least $200 a week. Now, you can shoot for less than that. With me going home every week, I keep mine down below $50 a week. But I bring my cigarettes from home. I bring my sodas from home. I bring a lot of meals from home. And I only fuel at Love's, so I've got my points off the Love's card. So I can keep mine down below 50 fairly easy. Now this coming week, that ain't going to be the case because I didn't go home this weekend. That being said, I still got victuals back there that I can't eat. So it won't be no 200 by no means. But right here this weekend, I've had 3 meals out of this Huddle House. And it's cost me about $45. That being said, Brandon and C. Hill and Jim Dunn all threw a little bit of money on here through that super chat thing. And they gave me $45 just supporting the channel. That's about what I spent in there on 3 meals, was $45. So there you go. And that's in 2 days. Now, if you're talking about 7 days, you do the math. So, I hit the mom and pops all the time. I personally prefer hitting the mom and pops. I'm forced to fuel at the Love's, so I don't have a choice there. Excuse me. So they wind up getting some of my money because when you stop to fuel, that's when you want to use your bathroom, get whatever things you got to get, cut back on your stops. But come of a night, if I can't park at a shipper or receiver, yeah, I try to hit my mom and pops and spend a little money there to help keep them open. The problem we run into out here is a lot of these trucks will stop at a truck stop and they try not to spend any money in there. Well, that's fine for these big chains, but when it comes to a mom and pop, you need to spend a little bit of money in there just to keep their doors open so we got that place to park at. And that's a lot of what's happened to the mom and pops. They can't keep the doors open. Yeah, sign. They stack them up and put chains on them just to keep them in one general area. And as you need them, you go up there and undo your binders and get what you need and bind them back down. So, well, different people have different ways of doing stuff. Me, I did a double row of them. I'd stack two up. But different people have different ways of doing stuff. So you've seen them just doing it their way. And to them, they might have been doing it basically to make a little extra protection. Although that ain't going to protect you a whole lot. If a load decides to go, it's gone. Well, there you go, Brandon. So by the time you count your smokes in, you're well over 100. Well, I bought a carton in here. And later on in the week, yeah, I will need more cigarettes. But it is what it is. I don't go to Sam's or Costco. And I don't buy them at the reservation truck stops either. That aggravates you. They used to have lower prices. Now they're not. They still try to advertise they do, but they don't. That truck's been sitting over there with its work lights on all weekend. Yeah, Michael smokes those American Spirits or something like that. Yeah, they cost a little bit more. Mine cost between $50 and $55 a carton. I bought them for $50 a carton here. Grandma just bought some down at the house, and hers was like 53 something. So like $3 difference between here and the house. Now, I ain't never paid no $8 a pack. You can pay that kind of crazy money on the East Coast, but I always made sure I had cigarettes when I went over there. In Canada, their cigarettes are crazy. Well, exactly, William. Sam's does the bulk stuff. I don't do either one. I smoke Pall Malls. Back in the day, I used to smoke Camels. That was a long time ago. Started smoking Camels when I was in the Marine Corps in the 70s because they weren't popular. Back then, it was Kool, Salem, Marlboro, and Winston. And the rest of them wouldn't buy them enough cigarettes to get them through payday. So there was always bumming cigarettes. I'd start smoking Camels because they weren't popular. And they was foolish enough to say, oh, no, thank you. Never mind. Okay, cool. That was my plan. But I started smoking when I was 9 years old, and I ain't nowhere near that anymore. My kids was smoking I think it was a Marlboro, that had some little thing in the filter you would click and break it and made it a menthol. I'm like, how crazy is that? Oh me, oh my. It might have been a Camel. I don't remember, JJ. I just remember they was smoking something and offered it to me and was telling me about that crush thing there in it. And just so you know, Brandon, they ain't never caught on fire regardless how much I rub them. I ain't even been driving in them old fingers, that arthritis, man. You're getting old enough. You've been out there long enough. You know about that. And is it just me, or do any of you old drivers have a problem with these new damn steering wheels? They just don't fit right. They're bigger and fatter than the old ones, and with this starch or whatever you call this, it's hard to get a good, comfortable place to hold the steering wheel, or is it just me? Actually, I think they ought to legalize it. They've had this war on drugs for so long, they ain't done no good. They ain't done nothing but make the government money and make the state prison system, and they made all them money, but they ain't got no drugs off the streets. And I'd rather deal with somebody that's stoned and sitting there waiting on that stop sign to turn green than I would some drunk. They can't even see the stop sign. Oh, there won't be no detention pay, C-Hill. I already know. Their way of looking at it is that I didn't make the load, that's my fault. Poor dispatching ain't got nothing to do with it, because their computer's going to say that it did. I was asking Grandma a little while back, because I don't ever see my settlement or my paycheck. She'd tell me that she ain't seen no detention on any of my settlements, including that 10-hour deal a couple weeks ago. That bothers me. Oh yeah, you'll get detention. We're dealing directly with the shipper, no brokers. Well, I got the armrest. I was just talking to somebody the other day about dope cab overs, and they said that they had a couple old ones at their yard that they had clumb up and looked at. I got to tell them about that old gear shifter right there on the doghouse. That's a good place to rest your hand. You'd put that wrist right there. I don't know if you've been out quite long enough to have drove the cab overs. Were you there, Brandon? By the time you start driving, they should have been going out quick, fast, and in a hurry. Nobody wanted to drive for JB and Schneider and Swift and all them that had the cab overs. Nobody wanted to drive for them, so they all wound up switching over quick. Hell, they don't even want to pay you 1 cent a mile. They'd rather you have to pay them. Straws, people, that's all I can tell you. Whatever company you go with, they're going to just keep adding them straws onto that load until they find that breaking point. I bet you did, William. I did too, Old International. Now back then I was young enough, it wasn't a big deal. Nowadays it'd kill me climbing in and out of that thing. I wouldn't mind having one of them last ones they did. Oh, okay. Well, if you drove a cab over, it must have been a local boy. Although when I was hauling boats, they had a couple cab overs. One old hand, he hadn't never drove one, and he drove one just so he could say he had. Ah, okay. Well, we called them a bus for a reason. Only the worst thing about a cab over, you was the first one at the scene of the accident. See all these trucks pulling through right now, and it's what, 8:40. This place has been packed out for a few hours. Tons of trucks driving through trying to find parking, and there ain't none. Well, last couple of years that they was mass producing them, I'm told they're starting to make a few more, or they still do, but only limited amount. They had a deal when you open that door, you could either climb up old style, or there was a lever you could hit that would make, when you opened the door, there was a staircase where you just walk up a little staircase. I wouldn't mind one with that little staircase. And also, we had a doghouse that came up here almost arm high. They started getting them down where the doghouse was only a couple inches tall. That made a big difference too. Now you could practically walk in the back. Before that, you had to climb over that doghouse. That was a pain in the butt. Trash hauler, what's going on? It's nighttime where I'm at. You're East Coast, so you probably think it's morning. Or are you West Coast and it ain't dark yet? Oh, goodness. Won't be long, I'll be thinking about bed, peoples. Yeah. A like my W9s, man. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't quit yawning. And I got a big nap today. Oh, speaking of that, I did eat supper. Been on here over an hour, so I'm running way late on taking my evening meds. But y'all gonna have, hold on a minute. Might as well take bedtime too, huh? All right, done deal. Grandma can't get mad at me. You ain't cutting out on me, are you, Cutter? Well, trust me, while I was in the Marine Corps, we got cigarettes real cheap. Yeah, W900. Well, of those trucks, that was my preference. Of all these new trucks out here, and honestly, this plastic Pete I got, I doubt it was much different than that damn plastic Freightliner over there. So it really don't matter to me what truck I drive anymore. I prefer not to have a freight shaker. I do like that, I call it new, the new International. It's been around 10 plus years. The one that's got that old narrow hood on it. Looks like the old 1930s car. I just like the looks of that one too. Never drove one. When they first came out, they had a Harley Davidson edition. I ran into a guy out in California. Oh, coming across from Bartlesville over to, I can't think the name of it. But anyway, I ran into a driver out there, and he had one when they just came out. He let me eyeball it, which I just stepped up and looked in, and it had all the Harley stuff in it. But I just always liked the hood, looks of that hood on it. Yeah, I believe it, Holler. That's what I'm saying. But the same thing with these truck companies anymore. They just spell the name different because they're damn sure all the same. No, detention is theft. Or not paying you detention is theft. Because I'm on my clock taking care of company business. So I should be paid for it. which they're starting to talk about that kind of stuff, but with our government as slow as that wheel turns, I'll be dead and buried before they decide to make it right. And the thing is I understand companies are in business to make money, and they are. Uh, the brokers are the biggest thieves in the trucking industry. They get anywhere from a quarter to the third of the money that manufacturer is going to pay to have his freight hauled. They get a quarter to a third of it to do a posting online and talk to a couple people on the phone. Yeah, that's ridiculous. So they actually get the lion's share without putting out any cost to speak of. Then the company that brokers that gets the freight, they've got to pay for the truck, the insurance, the driver, and all this, which they'll make money, but that broker is getting the largest percentage of easy money. So yeah, brokers are the biggest thieves in the industry. And I've seen so many truck drivers on these trucking groups where they're like, oh, I'm thinking about starting a broker. And all they're going to do is they're going to take a load that somebody else brokered and they're going to try to sell it to you. So they're wanting to make a share off of doing nothing but a couple phone calls. That's the biggest problem in the trucking industry. The second biggest problem in the trucking industry is all these cutthroat large mega companies that don't have to make as much per mile, so they run around cutting everybody's throats trying to take the business away from the smaller companies. Don't get me started. Exactly, sign cutter. I don't know exact numbers, but I know I'm not far off. Which is why I tell people, if you're going to be an owner-operator, go ahead and get your own authorities and find you a couple of different shippers where you can sign on directly with them, meaning sign a contract for hauling their freight, not signing on with the company, because when you sign on with the company, all they're going to do is get that broker freight. So that broker, let's say he's getting 25%, now your company's going to take 10 to 20%, so you're going to be lucky to get 50% of what the original payer is going to pay to have it shipped. And you're the one with the truck and the fuel and all the cost. Typical American nonsense. The one who does the work gets the least money. Of course, the others will tell you that that's just smart business. They're making money off your work. I hear you, brother. Appreciate you coming in. I ain't going to be on here a whole lot longer myself. Be careful. Enjoy the phone chat. Yes, Cutter, with your own authorities, you can cut out the brokers. And it's not that hard to get your own authorities. The hardest part is if you're a new driver in the industry with no track record, new to having your own authorities and stuff, everybody's going to question your ability to be able to do your job. So you need to be a little bit of a BS artist to get it. Oh yeah, it's a bad, dirty game of cutthroat. Ever since they did the deregulation, it's gotten nothing but steadily worse. Now the government did here just a few years ago, they made it mandatory that brokers would have to carry so much insurance and all this, which I swear the government's got to be into the insurance company somehow. But you have to have so much of a bond and all this other stuff in order to be able to broker loads. So if any of y'all are thinking about doing your own authorities and all that, do all of your own homework. Now, if you, well, that depends upon what you're asking there, Cutter. If I'm understanding right, what you're asking, if I'm a manufacturer and you come talk to me and you're wanting to haul my freight and you have your own authorities, am I going to save money? And the answer to that is going to be basically yes, if you work it right. Because you're going to know approximately, if you've done your homework, you're going to know what that broker's making. So you should be able to cut him enough of a deal where you're taking a little bit of that broker's money and leaving him some profit where his cost on shipping is going to save him a little bit of money. So that's where I was saying you're going to have to be the BS guy. And I had a lady that manufactures some train parts that was wanting me to haul for her. They was over around the Kansas City area. And me and her stood there and talked about it. And she was very interested because one thing, it would save the hassle of dealing with a broker. And two is it would give her a little bit more control over the timing. Because you get these brokers, and all that broker's going to do is put it on a computer and wait on somebody to come bite, to nibble. And then she has to set it all up. Whereas if you bypass that broker, I can call her up and say, hey, Lucille, I'm going to be there tomorrow. What you got? You know, and she's going to say, Joe, I got this. So yeah, it can save them some hassle and money if you work it right. Yeah, all I can say is suck it up. If you're a rookie and you're homesick, that's part of trucking. Put in a request for home time and just figure out that's part of trucking. This is a lifestyle out here. That truck has to make X amount of miles, X amount of dollars every week. So, you know, if you're not making the miles where the company can afford you to go home, you need to step up your game a little bit. If your company's just being greedy, you're going to stick it out your 2 years and find a better company. And you think it's bad now if you're homesick now with all the modern technology we got for communicating. You damn sure didn't want to be out here when I started, because all we had was cell phones, or pay phones. And then you had to stand in line, or they had them at the tables in the restaurants. All you could do is do a phone call every couple of days, because you couldn't afford to call home every day. Well, now you know, Cutter. Morning, George. Well, I don't see a thumbs down, but it don't surprise me. Probably the one that jumped his butt about me and my smoking. I don't worry a whole lot about thumbs down. That's why I need y'all to give me the thumbs up. If everybody gives me a thumbs up, that outweighs that thumbs down. But you get them trolls that come through here. Well, that's exactly it. You have the mental toughness or you don't. And people come out here listening to the TV commercials and the recruiters and all that, And they all think that this is some kind of a piece of cake out here. Oh, it's a cakewalk. You're only sitting there driving. Then they come out here and find out it's actually work and you're by yourself. Then they're like, oh no. Oh, me, oh my. Well, folks, we're going on an hour and a half. If you got any more questions you want to ask that's relevant to your driving career, ask them. Otherwise, I'm going to get off here in a few minutes. I'll give you some time to ask. Well, C Hill, put my name in over there with him. Let him know about my channel. Tell him check me out. All right, George, you be safe, brother. Remember, good Lord loves you, man. I do what I can on the cooking videos, but I'm working on a farm at home too, so. Yeah, imagine that, Cutter. Remember, a recruiter ain't nothing but a glorified car salesman. All they want to do is get your butt in the seat and then you deal with the rest of it. You remember when we went into the military? How that recruiter told you all that fine stuff? He's the same one trying to get you into trucking. Oh, me, oh my. All right, my good people. Not a problem, Fax. Well, yeah, they don't want to get to the details. And them pretty trucks, that ain't nothing but a recruiting thing. That's why you hear me tell, I just said it last night, you can't buy me with a truck. You know, I've done been out here long enough. I fell for that bait before. A truck's a truck. Yeah, I have my preference, but overall, if it's running good, not breaking down and making my living, I really don't care what it is. There was a day that I did. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Cutter. Noel, take it easy, bro. And with that, my good people, I hear my bunk calling me. Remember, God loves you. So do I. Appreciate y'all coming in. Check out the Facebook channel. Buy yourself a t-shirt for Christmas. Support the channel, please. Y'all have a fine evening now. Good night.